So, what is it about the supernatural to both of you that compel you to this album?
Well, I think actually that's what brought us together is because I came across Jeremy's videos on YouTube where he had a course about entering fairyland. And
Right.
when I came across those videos, everything that he was saying has happened to me before. I just didn't know that it was like a thing. So just
Right.
like seeing visions, having dreams, and like the magical moments that you have in those dreams and visions, and some of the things that he was saying I completely like related to. And I
Hmm.
just thought that, maybe I was one of the only people who had those dreams, just
Oh
being
no.
just being like an artistic imaginative person. But then he was mentioning like even receiving, like music from other realms, and like
Right.
meeting characters in other realms, and those visions being so real. And I was like, wow, I can so relate to this. And he had even drawn some characters that he had met in
Yeah.
fairyland, and I actually saw those drawings and was like, that person looks familiar. I was like, I feel like I
Wow.
might
Yeah.
have met that
The
person
Lost
too.
Enchanters.
And
That's right. That's
Seriously,
right.
about that,
yes.
when I first saw you in person, like a picture of you, I was like, that being that I drew Rosaline from, if anyone's ever seen The Lost Enchanters and seen that picture of the second song, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I feel like you are so similar to that vibe because I'm not really good at drawing, so I couldn't really capture what I saw, but it really reminded me when I saw you of how I remember how that fairy looked, and I was like, this is one
Well,
of the most fairy looking people that I've actually seen
yeah,
in the
and
Yeah.
visual.
You
I
Like,
guys are.
I thought the
so,
same of you too, because I've actually like drawn characters and like leprechauns and things that look similar
that look,
to
yeah,
Jeremy.
exactly.
Yeah,
And then
so it
and we
just
also had those visions where like you had that vision of me dressed in white, which is why I wore that in
mhm.
that video,
We'll
and
meet
you,
again
Yes.
until
yeah,
we meet
Oh
again.
yeah.
and in that vision, like she saw like me by this fountain and this white like marble building thing and everything, and like I've been to that exact same place in these visionary worlds, and
Wow.
we were able to like describe the same place, like we've been to this, and that's the kind of amazing thing that has definitely happened.
While we were just beginning to write music and record, I had a dream where I went into this like marble, almost like a palace looking building, and it
Hmm.
had like an open doorway to like a courtyard where there was like this really pretty fountain, and Jeremy was like sitting on the fountain, on like the fountain ledge, and he was dressed in all white, which is so interesting because I had only seen him wearing black like all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
born
very
And
white,
so
uncommon
to
to
white.
Jeremy.
see that, it was just
He
like,
has black on now. That's
yeah, and
interesting.
Yeah,
I never myself envisioned him wearing white. So to see that in the dream, I was like, oh, it's Jeremy and he's wearing all white. Wow. And so then when I told Jeremy about that dream, I was like, yeah, and you were wearing all white, and I thought, maybe you should wear that for the May We Meet Again video. And so he tried that out, and it actually looked like really
It's
amazing. And I'm like,
beautiful. That
that's
video is beautiful.
exactly like how I saw him in my dream. And then later on, he had also had a vision, or where he, I don't know if it was like during meditation, or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where you had gone to that same place, but you were telling me about it, and you had forgotten about the dream that I
Hmm.
told you, and you said, yeah, there was like a fountain, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's where I saw you. And then he realized that it was like pretty much the same place.
yeah,
So
Right.
like
So
we
there's
were,
a clear sense of correspondence. That's what I hear right now. Like
yes,
you guys are meeting each other in unusual cosmic ways,
just
yes,
and that's what's
exactly.
clearly felt within the music. Like it just blends harmoniously. There's no friction, and I'm just listening to you guys. It sounds amazing to just see in the spiritual realm coming into the physical realm and
yes.
those
Exactly.
manifestations.
That's
And
so true. Like, been so much synchronicity through the whole thing and a lot of harmony. Like, usually when I'm making music, it really does take a lot of effort to get everything right. But with this, it's been a very smooth, uh,
mm-hmm,
straightforward process. It's just like I'll just make the
no
music,
stress.
send it through. She
Yeah.
just does all this magic and sends it back, and it's just like
Right.
really harmonious. And it's just been the same with the videos where we just have very similar visions, and we can feel the heart of what that is. I mean, I noticed you're wearing like blue eye makeup today, and I put on pink, and it's like that's just natural.
Pink and blue.
or-
So it's just like natural
Even
correspondence.
discuss that, you know.
I
Still
know.
have to give mention to Red Light because
Well.
that is a club banger.
Oh
People in
yeah,
the clubs.
it's a dance
It was-
song for sure.
Yeah, it's and the video is amazing as well. I know you all have
Yeah.
spoken about it, but there's so much in that video. Like you spoke of how you saw that glimpse of what looked like a UFO, and then it was just
Ooh,
out
yeah,
of your sight.
that was real. That's
Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
I mean, that in the video it was like a animated.
It looked really real. I mean,
Cool.
the video was amazing.
Yeah, but
it
that's
looked-
exactly like when I did see an actual real UFO. That's it happened like, oh my gosh, it's almost gonna be like 20 years. Yeah, no, it is. It's like
Wow.
the 20th anniversary of seeing a UFO because I saw it in 2000, and it was on Halloween, which it's like all of it was just like so magical because it was Halloween night, October 31st, and there was a full moon, and there's going to be another
course.
full moon this Halloween. So I don't know if
Whoa,
that like
sweet.
meant
Something
anything,
that's
but I'm definitely
happened
going
on
to
that
be
What songs did you play?
yeah, I'm definitely going to be
In the
looking for
moonlight,
more
maybe.
yeah, for more UFOs. But when I saw the UFO, it looked did that same thing exactly.
Wow.
So I definitely wanted to put that in the video. I just had
So
to.
this on Halloween. You're saying there's a full moon this Halloween?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh wow.
Halloween
See, and it's 20 years. That's
Yeah,
like
Halloween
the-
2020. Maybe they're gonna come back to abduct me. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
They're
This
gonna
would be
come
the
back
perfect
to
time
beat
to
me
leave.
up.
I'd be watching the skies.
Yeah.
so-
So yeah, there's these like such interesting things that I'm not even like looking for these things, and they just happen to me in my life, and it's hard to ignore them because they're so clear to me, and so I just feel like I have to, just present them to other people in the world. So there's like a little flying. See, now there's like little fairy things flying in the air. Yeah. Oh, and then the other supernatural things that were happening, but like in this physical realm, was one of the things was I have like this room. I do voiceover too, so I have a room in my house where it's like a little recording studio, and that's where I have all my recording stuff set up. And while I was recording, the first supernatural thing that happened was I was recording Fallen Angel, which is one of the songs on the album. And at the end of that song, I do like this angelic, like, ah, at the end. And then it's like the angel's falling. And then at the very end, so I had recorded that part. And then I pressed stop on the record. And then I looked at my file, and there was like this weird, like, I knew I had made no sounds. I didn't bump the microphone. Everything was good, but there was like this weird, like, crazy thing on like the sound. I don't know what you call it. Sound wave. Yeah, on the sound wave. And I was like, what is that? And I was actually afraid to hear what it was because it just appeared after I pressed, stop. And it wasn't from the stop button or anything because I record on my computer. So I was listening to it, and then all of a sudden at the end of that was just like this big, like an EVP,
oh, wow.
like a crazy, loud, shocking.
You hear it on my Instagram page.
Yes, like a crazy.
Oh, I have to check that out.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And I was like, that is freaky. And then my brother from the other room was like, what's freaky? What are you talking about? And I played it for him, and he was like, oh my God, that's like terrifying. And he said, that's an EVP. It's like you recorded an EVP. But I just felt like there is just like a lot of energy because when you're doing art or any type of art, singing, poetry, you're channeling just
right. You're bringing all of those spirits
the
out.
energy, the spirits, and I could just feel that character, the fallen angel character, in the room, and it's almost like that was like the energy was like recorded onto that file. And I sent it to Jeremy, and I was like, there's that EVP on here, and we were trying to like slow it down and like reverse it to hear if it was like saying anything. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard with stuff like that because you might in your mind think it's, saying something, but yeah, it was strange. And then another thing that happened was all of a sudden one morning there was just like a loud bang in the room. I could hear it
Wow.
from the other room, and I was like, "What was that?" And then my brother was like, he wasn't in the room either, but he's like, "All of the stuff on that table just fell onto the floor," and he's like, "And I didn't touch it. I'm in the other room." So I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like, and
And
now
see,
it's like,
that's amazing because that doesn't, I mean, that sounds sort of spooky, but that's not the energy one would listen or get when listening to the album. Like,
mm-hmm.
it's very serene and it goes through this graceful type of element. I mean, all of the elements, like the fire and the
Yeah,
water and the rain,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting like earthquake type scenarios.
yeah,
That
and
you like.
I know.
Yeah.
And it was actually sometimes, well, because some of our songs are, a little bit darker. I haven't like
Yeah.
previewed those yet because we do have a song called "Witch Girl," which also I have
Yeah.
we have
I love that one. That's a good one that a
there's
lot of people
another
I think I love.
like
Yeah.
story for that, but "Witch Girl" and then "Fallen Angel." And then we have our Desert Sun song, which sounds very like, conjuring up spirits and things like that.
Mm.
And then there's the song Crimson Velvet Roses, which is very like, serene. I love that song too.
It's a
But
favorite. I think a lot of people love that one. I mean,
yeah,
that just
and
takes you to a place that, wow.
yes,
I
it's
listened to that
very,
on repeat when I first heard it. I was just like, wow, the lyrics, the production,
yeah,
everything just flows so well.
it's very dreamy. And actually, that song is about a vampire. So,
Oh,
yeah, if you once
Yeah.
you like read the
it makes
lyrics,
sense.
it's
Okay.
just super super poetic. And then once you read the lyrics, because it says break, drain, do it again. So like you're breaking skin, you're draining blood, and then the
Ah,
crimson velvet roses is like the blood. So it's just super
wow.
poetic. But yeah,
There's a
so
lot of, and they're like through the veil or something, the white shiny teeth. There's something about these things,
yeah,
but they're kind of in these
the
metaphors and
sharpest
stuff.
grin because they've got like, vampire teeth. It's just super poetic. So but yeah, that is a surprise because that song sounds like so like, pretty, and like you
Yeah, it's
wouldn't really
pretty, but
think
it
of
has
something
all of
like
that.
that. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, so like that when I was recording that one, I worked on that one for like a really long time because I think I worked on it for almost like 2 weeks because I was trying to
Yeah,
get
you
like
were
Wow.
such.
recording. I think you recorded it piece by piece, like one word at a
Yeah,
time. It
exactly.
wasn't like
Wow.
singing. It was like
Standing.
word by word by word.
On a staircase.
Because I knew it had to be like so delicate, and I did like the effect of like the one word going into the next word, and
Hmm.
yeah. But as so I worked on that so long, but as I was doing it, it was actually starting to creep me out, and I told Jeremy because it's about a vampire. So I told Jeremy like one night I was going to bed and. I think I was just creeped out of thinking about like vampires, and like a pillow. It was kind of dark in my room, and a pillow like fell over on my leg, and I was like, "Oh my god, I
So you're
thought a vampire!" But yeah, like, so it was actually starting to like some of the songs were actually starting to like creep me out, just with like
right.
their
That's the funny thing because
supernaturalness.
what you were saying, Jessica.
Thanks, you guys, for listening to this conversation. Where could the world find you all if so they ever wanted to catch you, which I'm sure everyone wants to listen now and see what you all have
Well,
to say.
we have the album at the moment, depending on when you're watching this video in the future. September 22, 2020 is when the album is coming out, and there's a pre-order page for it right now at the Bandcamp page, which is just noelandjeremy.bandcamp.com. So I'll put that in the description. And then there's also our Instagram pages, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
at Noel Noelill.
and what am I? I don't know. Jeremy
You're
Garner?
at
Un-
Jeremy.
yeah.
I can tell you right now. You're
I don't even.
underscore. You're at
Yeah,
underscore
Oh,
underscore. That's what
Jeremy
it is.
Garner.
That's right. That's right.
I was trying to tell somebody that and I can't find them. I'm like, oh yeah, it has an underscore.
It has the underscore. I wanted.